Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine. Giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
Hey, it's Mike and Blaine. It's another episode. I'm Mike Mylan, also known as Cashflow Mike. That is my friend, my partner, Blaine Birch, the CEO, founder of Dry Run. What's up, man? How you doing?
I just learned something. They changed something in our recording software, and now I have the ability to play an audio-only jingle, which I accidentally did, or the video one, which I meant to and did not. So I'll know for next week.
Oh, got it. Yes, I was wondering because I didn't see the stuff.
By the time I figured it out, we were halfway through the jingle. I thought, well, I'd stop it now. But you know, Riverside, that's what we record on. It's a very cool product, but boy, they change stuff every week, it seems. And it's like relearning every time I log in. But anyway, so you just had to stare at us this time instead of our fun little video at the start. If this is your first time watching, come back next week, and I promise I'll get the video jingle going. It's a lot of fun watching it. So, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, right on. So, so if you're trying to figure out what's going on, this is Mike and Blaine. We do business, beer, and BS, where we don't pick the topic till about 10 minutes before the episode. So it's not prepared. It's not scripted. It's two dudes talking. That's really what it is.
It is. It's but it always makes it fun and kind of interesting. And I notice now if I line up like this, that light behind me makes it look like I have little musketeer ears or something on. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the light.
That's just how it is. So now you'll never be able to unsee that. Okay, maybe I'll move over so it's not so weirdly lined up. Anyway.
Oh look, right before the podcast, the dog tore up his dog bed. And I have to pick that up. I'm like, damn, why didn't I pick that up beforehand? But look, you see that little that fuzz on the board?
We are all pro all the time on the Mike and Blaine show.
Yeah, total authentic, I guess. Authentic.
Exactly. So let's start with the biz, beer, BS. We're actually going to switch to beer. What are you drinking today? And then we're going to talk about our beer sponsors.
All right, so I'm going to talk about beer sponsor right now. Neighbor Pat remember he was on vacation last week, and I was like all down and in dumps, like going, my buddy's not around, nobody to talk to, nobody to talk shit with, those type of things. Well, he went to Galveston, Texas, right? I mean, if you know Galveston, it's got a nice beach area. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, they spent a whole week down there, and he brought back the Galveston Tiki Wheat, right? So Galveston Tiki Wheat, right? It's an American wheat beer. One of the cool things on the back of this, right, and is it's from the Galveston Island Brewing Company, but on the back it says, what is it? Pairs well with hammocks, pools, beer goggles,
and beaches.
And beaches.
Nice.
So I'm like going, doesn't this give you beer goggles?
It's not paired with it. That's the cause of it. The direct line cause.
So Neighbor Pat was back, and by the way, Neighbor Pat came in. He's been wanting to play bags, so we played bags last night, and I got scared, right? Because every time we play, it's best 2 out of 3. That's the winner is best 2 out of 3. Dude, he beat me like 21-1 the first game.
Oh, wow. Good for you, Pat. That's outstanding.
21-1 the first game. Now, when the swing juice kicked in, he lost the next 2 games, so he lost the night still.
Okay,
he still lost the night. He still can't win. But he got the first lick in, which scared me. I'm like, I've never been beaten this bad for one in a game. And I think the beer hadn't caught up yet. That's all.
That reminds me of the famous WKRP episode where Dr. Johnny Fever, they had a cop in the booth with him and testing his reflexes. And the more he drank, the better his reflexes got. And the cop didn't know what to do because it was just on air because they were trying to, say how bad your reflexes get. And then Dr. Fever's got such bad reflexes to start off with. It got faster. It's a funny episode. Also one that's probably less than appropriate today, but they got away with in the 70s and 80s, I suppose. But let's dive into our other beer sponsors before, and then we'll look at what beer we're drinking today. But we always got to thank Devin, biggest LSU fan on the planet, also Netflix superstar Devin. Thank you so much. Been a long-time supporter of the show, and cheers to you, Devin.
There you go. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate that. We got Karen Harrison up in Michigan. Karen Harrison is a cash flow expert, and she's written a book, an Amazon bestseller called Stop Growing Broke, Start Growing Profits. Go check it out. If your business is struggling, if you're having a tough time, you need a consultant, you need just some advice, or you need some help, maybe self-help with the book, check out her book. Contact Karen Harrison up in Michigan.
And for a second, I thought you were going to have the state wrong again when we had Houston, Missouri a few weeks ago. I was just waiting to see if that came up.
You don't have to keep bringing that up.
Oh, I do. It's pretty funny. I like that one. But we also got to talk about CPA Larry Weinstein in Houston, Texas. Best CPA in Houston, in Texas. Go talk with him if you need a CPA. Thanks again, Larry. And passing over to you for our new sponsors came on last week.
Our first subscriber, somebody just keeps going. Our first subscriber. I didn't even know you could subscribe till he did it. So,
very cool.
But I'm going to give him a nickname, right? We're going to give him a nickname because he's focused on the family and he's part of the family. So you know how we got neighbor Breger and neighbor Thomas and neighbor Pat. And I got a funny neighbor Pat story right after this. But sure. I'm going to call this Brother Trey, right?
Nice.
Yeah, we're family, so I'm going to call him Brother Trey. He is a subscriber. He listens. He's part of the family. So I tell you what, really appreciate you, not only listening, but putting your money where the family is. Keeping it in the family. How about that? Keeping it in the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Trey. Much appreciated. And we're going to have a real killer episode today. So hopefully you enjoy.
All right, wait, before you introduce the topic, I got to tell the neighbor Pat story. Remember he was in Galveston last week?
Yes.
Right? So here's what he's saying. He went to a water park, Slitterbahn, right? Which is a huge, massive water park. We went there. Yeah. He's going around the lazy river, him and his wife, Nancy, they're going around the lazy river. And as they go by this one couple, this guy goes, "Hey, I think I know that guy." Right? Think about this. Galveston is 4 hours from where we live. 4 hours, right? Easy, yeah. 4 hours. And they come around the lazy river again and he goes, "Yeah, I know that guy. That's neighbor Pat."
That's sweet.
No shit. Some stranger calls out and calls him by name, calls him neighbor Pat. Pat doesn't know this person, but obviously this person listens to the show, catches on, probably has seen neighbor Pat sit right there, right?
That's awesome.
Like you did yesterday. But how cool is that somebody saw him and recognized him from our videos? And, I wish he would have said, "Oh, I wish he would have stopped in the lazy river and said, 'Hey, what's going on?' and talked with the guy." But, that's a cool thing. That's never happened to me. It's happened to me at conferences, but I expect it at a conference because I'm in a group of people. But I've never been out in public and they go, "Hey, there's Cashflow Mike."
No, that's amazing, awesome. But I also know if I was the one going around Lazy River, the guy'd say, "Hey, man, I think that guy knows neighbor Pat."
That's probably what would happen. Yeah, like,
"Hey, guy's familiar. I think he knows neighbor Pat." That sounds just about right.
Yeah, we should ask him if he knows neighbor Pat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Pat, you're a superstar because it's very cool to hear. We've got a topic today, and the topic. Okay, we're gonna do things a little bit backwards today. I'm gonna play the topic jingle, and then we'll show the two beers we're drinking today because I kind of picked one out that matched the topic a little bit. So this is something new with us just lately. Mike is making up these awesome jingles for the topic. So here we go. What's happening today?
Looks easy on the video till you give it one good try. Turns out the pros make magic. That's the reason why Mike and Blaine are breaking down the things we underestimate. Looks easy till you do it. Now let's jump into today's debate.
Dude, that's the best one yet.
It's the best
That's the best one yet, right?
It's just the right length, and they wrap it up nice. And so on that topic, so what we're talking about is all this content and video online telling you how to do things. Of course, everything looks easy. They make it look easy, and then you try it, and it turns out it's not very easy. And but I know that every time I go to YouTube and I look something up, like, okay, how do I fix my toilet? Go there and I look, and it's like there are so many videos. I don't even know which one to look at. So today I grabbed Super Saturation. I love this can from Cabin Brewing in Calgary. And I just like that Super Saturation. That's how I feel every time I go to, I know it's a bit of a weak tie-in, but I'm going to try and do it. But Super Saturation, Cabin Brewing, delicious hazy IPA, one of my favorite IPAs in the province. And I love Cabin Brewing. So if you are in Calgary or near Calgary, make sure you go and check them out. What do you got going?
Oh, well, I'll show you again.
Geez. You had that one. You told me about it. I should have introduced mine at time. Okay, we're off the trolley tracks on the order of our beer introductions today.
You started out today in the wrong room.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
you didn't keep up with. I'd already introduced my beer.
That is
Brain fog.
That is true. But it's all this new jingle thing has got the order just a little bit different. So we got to settle into the rhythm. But I love the topic today. So how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's always one of those things. I'm like, oh, we got a podcast today. I better come up with a topic. So I'm like, oh, well, what did we talk about last week? Last week we talked about how things are weirdly satisfying. Right? When you watch somebody pressure wash a driveway, or when you watch somebody do something, even Bob Ross with his happy trees and those type of things.
Yep.
And it got me thinking, like going, well, wait a second. They make it look easy. It goes right down to it. They make it look easy because I think I even said that when I try to do it, it comes out like blobs and not mountains or not trees. So it just looks like a blob. And I'm like going, that's really true of a lot of things. And then I thought back to, there was a golf tournament where Rory McIlroy challenged somebody to hit the golf ball. It's like a hole-in-one challenge or something like that. And he had all these just regular people like me that would come out and try to hit the golf ball. And none of them were as close as the pros. None of them. Not even close. Not even anything near what a pro could do. So you're like going, wait a second. They make it look easy, and it's not until you try to do what they do that you figure out how hard it is to master anything. And that's what I'm going to talk about today.
Yeah, and I think it's a great topic because I'm on YouTube all the time. And anytime I want to learn how to do something or fix something around the house or fix a bike, repair this, do that, I go to YouTube. And then I'm always trying to figure out, okay, who actually knows what they're talking about? And I got a little story about this later that I may have even shared a few months ago on the show, but it is so on point here. It's the first place I go, but it's totally true. It never is as easy as they make it look. Like I'll sometimes go and I'll find like some because I noodle around on the guitar here and there'll be like a title. It's like the easiest way to do this or that. And then the guy comes on and goes, just do that. Like, what? It's like, it's the level is oftentimes completely out of whack, but boy, it's fun. I appreciate it so much because on the other side, we used to never even have like that opportunity to watch somebody do something and learn from it, right?
Yes. I mean, it always looks easy. What got me thinking was just even the pressure washing. Like, oh, they make that look just so simple and all that. You ever done it? You got to get chemicals out. You got to drag all the equipment out. It's a real pain in the ass. I mean, it is just to do it. But while you're watching somebody else do it, it's fantastic. And mine never turns out the way theirs does, right?
Yeah.
Because there's something that the equipment, it's just like a golfer. Their equipment's better. It just is.
Yeah.
They can afford the better equipment.
It's also called editing. Like the Dude Perfect guys, they might work on something for days. But the only thing you see is like, whoop, the perfect cut, right? So
Yeah.
and they don't like to mention the rest.
You shouldn't have said dude perfect because, apparently like last week, Courtney listened to one of these. She goes, "Hey, you said this, that, and the other." I'm like, "What? I did?" Because, I don't remember anything after the episode. It's like, we just had a conversation.
Yeah.
But I learned through her that dude perfect are Texas A&M graduates. And so is she.
Okay.
So, it's like
there you go.
She claims them as her own. Like, oh, no, those are my guys. Dude perfect guys.
There you go. Courtney. Me too.
And you know what you just did? You just did gig them, right? And that's the thing that they do at Texas A&M.
Oh, well, hey, there you go. I've got a talent for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I apparently hit on something there.
All right. So, so a lot of the schools, we'll say in Texas, have slogans, man, whatever it is. So, like my school, Baylor, we do a thing where you make a bear claw and you go, sick 'em bears, right? And you do a thing. You got the hook 'em horns, right, for the University of Texas. Well, or you got like horn frogs for Texas Christian University, TCU.
Yeah.
Well, at Texas A&M, they do a thumbs up like this, and it's called gig 'em.
Okay.
Right?
I do like the Texas one because it looked like you're at an Aussie concert when you do that. I know it's like the Texas horse will like rock on, dude.
Anybody that didn't go to Texas, they usually do it like this, down.
All right, that's okay. I'm learning all kinds of interesting stuff today. Okay, I'm gonna. There's a few things that I kind of think are interesting that I wanna dig into today. But I am going to tell this story because I think I did tell it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't on the show, but I think I did a couple months ago. But this is the trust your or know your source and don't necessarily trust it. Because I went on, I had to hang some stuff on the outside of the house, security cams down in Arizona, and and it's got stucco, and I'm looking at it going, okay, that stucco is going to be tricky because I know it may go into a plate behind it, like a 2x4 or something, or maybe not. I don't know how it's like. There could be gaps that you're getting in between.
Well, there's usually a mesh, right? There's a mesh that they put on to like, we'll say the outer sheath of the house, which is, we'll say, plywood, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a waterproof barrier. Then there's a mesh.
Yes, and I don't, because I haven't seen how they do it. So I'm like, okay, is it going into wood? Is it for sure going into wood? Is it not? But I know I need really specific drywall anchors. I'm like, I got to make sure that, or I don't even think drywall anchors is what I'm talking about, but it's just anchors that I need for that. So of course I look online, I see a whole bunch of different anchors. I'm like, well, I can go to YouTube. So I go to YouTube, and this guy I saw it. He said how to hang the same security camera. I had this Ring cam. And so I said, oh, I wonder what kind of anchors he used. Okay. And where this all started is because when I got the cam and I pulled it out and it came with anchors, and I looked at that and went, those are garbage. There is no way I'm using those garbage anchors. They're not going to work. Yeah, they're not going to work. So this guy goes, and I'm going, okay, what's he using for anchors? And he drills into the side of his house. This is the how-to video. This guy's the expert, supposedly. The title of his video series, he's some kind of expert. Then he pulls out the anchors and he goes, yeah, these anchors, basically, like, they're garbage. These are not the right kind of anchors. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. What are you going to use? He used them. He used these crappy anchors anyway. And then, and you can see like the camera's like wobbly after and stuff. I'm like, he even recognized they're the wrong anchors. And I was so frustrated and so annoyed.
Yeah.
So I do my research, got anchors. Of course, like that, the house will fall down, that camera ain't coming off after I was done with it. But I could not believe the guy actually did it wrong and then put it out there as a how-to video. Like, unbelievable.
Every time I have to drill into stucco or anything like that, it's such a pain in the ass. You got to get the right bit, right? Or you're not going
right bit,
anywhere without the, concrete type bit. Yep. And it's just a pain. It's just it's a struggle doing anything in the stucco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I had to think of all the stuff I had to do just to like put 2 screws in the wall. Like I had to buy a specific bit. I had to buy specific anchors. Then I bought silicone to make sure that it can't get any water in the back. Like I overdid this, 2 holes in the wall, and I've got like, but is do it right. But I will say,
you don't have soffits in the house? Like you couldn't went up into the soffit and then let it hang down?
No, because I technically could have, but where I wanted it and where I wanted the camera, and because I tested it, I was up on I literally had my phone out. I had the camera. I'm like, okay, here's the angle. Here's what I want to see. Here's all that. And I've just found the perfect spot. Now it was covered. There's no way water's getting in there, but I cannot do it without doing it right. So I over-engineer it. I made sure it was right. And it looks tight. It looks really
good. Well, we got 2 cameras on the back of the house, and they're both in the soffit. So you're almost going right into wood. So it's super easy that way.
Yeah. It didn't, I wanted it because I wanted it at the rear sliding door. And if I put it kind of further forward in the soffit, it would be too far forward. Someone could basically walk right underneath. I'd never be able to see it, like all that. So I had a perfect spot for it. So that's how I picked it out. But I will say, like, the sort of the blind leading the blind a little bit. A few years ago, I was straightening a bike wheel. And so I had a, if you have the little thing, you can twist the spokes, right? And the little tool twists the spokes, and you can pull a wheel into true. And so I kind of went online and I looked, and I'm like, man, there's nothing here really telling me what to do. But the thing to me is, how do you know it's coming into true? So what I did is I just made a little jig, really just some elastics, and I think I had a couple little pieces of wood or something. Put them on either side of the wheel, attached to my forks, so that as I spun the tire, I could see it's like I had these little micrometers that would tell me where the tire was out, and I could adjust the spokes, right? It worked really well. So I'm like, oh man, I should put a video online about that. First time I'm doing this, and I'm like, I should put a video online about that. And then the idea was like, oh, I'm not doing that. This is too much work and everything. But it worked. It actually worked really well. It would have probably been really useful information to someone doing that so they could actually build this out. And it worked really well, but I got too lazy. So I was the opposite. I'm like, yeah, I'm not bothered.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of those videos are edited, right? Because you can't build a table in 12 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be your first clue, right? It's going to take you about 20 hours and thousands of dollars to be able to do it. But to me, it's one of those things where, well, you remember this, back in 2012, when we first demoed the Finograph software, we did it from a PowerPoint, and you could make a PowerPoint look like a working model of the
yes.
Right. We had nothing. We had we had something, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So we were still demoing it off of a PowerPoint that looked and worked like it was, you just clicked in a certain spot and then would open up a different slide that had the different screen, right? The new screen. So the reason we did that is because we didn't want the failure during a live demo.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it probably saved us a bunch of hours, but I think that's where the term vaporware came from, doing that. And I didn't know that going into software, but I guess that's how Microsoft did it for years.
Well, no, I can see that. Like in dry run, my first iterations were all basically exactly the same. There's a few hotspots on the page. I started with literally hotspots and wireframes so that I could walk people through, and you click here and this is what would happen and this, and then you get some rough mock-ups and do the same thing. Same thing for the reason to try and go, let's try and cut out mistakes and not overbuild and all of that before you start with. But the way I've heard the term vaporware is more like one that it never makes it out of production. It's that they're constantly developing something that probably will never work and that never gets into production. It just it stays in dev mode forever.
Yeah, you know what I thought about, and I'm gonna call out 2 people on this. What I thought about when I developed this topic today. says, oh, what looks easy until you have to do it? We've had 2 people on this show that would tell you what you and I do isn't easy. Right? You got the other Mike Mylan, who's terrible at podcasting. You got you got neighbor Pat who goes, neighbor Pat did better. Huh?
I enjoyed my time, Mike.
Yeah, there you go. I had to turn it off. It was the first one I ever turned off. I was in the mountains in Colorado. I'm like, oh, I can't listen to that. and then we had neighbor Pat. Come on. He did a lot better than the other Mike Mylan. Superior. I mean, I'm going to call him superior to the other Mike Mylan in every way.
All right.
And then he says how hard it is, how hard it was for him to sit here and actually have a conversation with us.
I'm just going to pop on chat just to see if someone wants to complain. Mike comes on, you assholes. Well, it's, I don't know. It's true to a degree. I think that the thing is that both of us have a talent for being idiots and not being too worried about it. So it's like,
yeah, we're used to it. Like, everybody else want to make a mistake on radio, or is this isn't radio? This is podcast.
This is podcast. And see, with us, is kind of the opposite. It's just like one big giant mistake, and it's like, man, maybe something smart will come out somewhere in the middle there.
Hey, did I ever tell you why I quit doing online gaming?
No.
And this was like 5 or 10 years ago. I'm like, well, not that I really started. I tried to start, but I tried to start in like my 40s, like 40, 41. So tried to start because I was whipping like Madden's butt, right? Yeah, I was just winning all the time, playing against the computer. I'm like, maybe I'll try to play somebody else online. I'll do this online thing. Oh,
yeah.
Dude, I got handed to me. I mean, I was getting beat like 70, 80 to nothing. I mean, every time I tried to move the ball, I'd fumble, they'd intercept, they'd run it back. I mean, just it was like I had no idea what I was doing in this game. Same thing happened with Call of Duty. So I'm like, well, maybe it's the game. Maybe I'm just not good at football. Maybe I'll try military stuff. Nope, same thing there, because what I thought worked in the real world did not work in the game.
Yep.
That's not what got me being bad. What got me was the shit talking that people do.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And you can hear their voice. And I'm like, going, this is like an 11-year-old. Like an 11-year-old. He's whipping me and trashing me out. He's just absolutely dogging me, with his words.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cuss a little kid. It's like something in me. I'm I don't want to cuss a little kid.
Let me correct that. You do want to. You just have the self-control not to. I know how that works.
So this guy's just dogged me like how terrible I am. I suck. I do all these bad things in his world, right? He's telling me and calling me everything I've ever been called in my life.
Yeah.
The only way I can think to respond was, oh, I'm going to talk to this kid's mom.
I'm telling on you.
I'm telling you. So I'm like, well, hey, put your mom on the phone, man. I want to talk to her. And he goes, what phone, old man? You're not on the phone. He goes down a whole nother line of just insults. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not cut out for this. So I can't really talk jive to, or shit to a little kid. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Just like,
so I quit.
See you later.
I quit the online gaming.
Yeah, I could see that. You probably would have lasted longer than me because I don't think I would make it even a few seconds in. But it's okay. So
that's another thing, though, right? They make it look so easy. When I'm watching them do, I'm like, how do they do that? And I'm trying to do it. No, nothing. Can't make it happen at all. It's just frustrating.
Well, and the thing is, I think there's 2 areas. Okay, so from my experience, there's 2 areas here. There's the how-to that is a little bit inconsequential. Like it's kind of fun to watch, but there's if you don't learn from it, there's virtually no consequences. Like, yeah, okay, you probably don't get any better at Madden or playing a whatever scale on a guitar or whatever it is, right? But the part that concerns me, and we've talked a little bit about this before, is some of it actually has consequences. And the way that where I want to circle this in is all the self-proclaimed experts that tell young entrepreneurs and startups how things are done. And there's so much out there. And the thing is, 99% have never done anything. They haven't accomplished anything. But they have so much conviction, and they could even have a really big following, but the consequences could be fatal to a business if you follow and go all in on the wrong bit of advice, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to contain it to age, but it does make me a little skeptical when, a 24, 25-year-old is trying to tell me how he's going to double my business.
Yeah. The serial entrepreneur that's 19. and then have you actually done it yet? Because true entrepreneurs, they're if they talk, they look more like the guy that went 10 rounds with Tyson, and might not have even, probably didn't win, but you come out, you're bloodied, you're bruised, you're missing some teeth. You're like, that's unfortunately the what happens with entrepreneurship. And I'm just pulling that out because I'm familiar with it, but there's other areas on the how-tos and the advice that it's not vetted. There's no regulation on it. There's no, and so you have to make the decision and the determination. Is this going to be helpful or not? And sometimes it's really hard to think not, especially early on in entrepreneurship, because you're looking for any answer that works. It's so hard. And you're looking for any answer. And someone that says, I got the answer, and I'm so smart, and I've done it a million times. It's hard to say no or ignore it until you've been burned a few times.
Well, I think that's the biggest connection back to business right there is, our customers or people around us only see the result. Oh, he's got a great product. Oh man, he's got a great business. Look at all the customers, and he's speaking here, and I see him on social and all this type of stuff. They don't see the preparation or, the failures that happened before that. Yep. Or, the stress, the late nights, the scrambling to find money to pay a bill. They don't see that part.
Exactly.
They just see, what you show them, I guess.
Exactly. The sleepless nights that, like you talk with other entrepreneurs, and it's amazing. This happened just about a week ago. And so it was the sleepless night sort of thing came up, and it's like kind of just a typical thing with entrepreneurs. There's sometimes where you're just not sleeping, like you're just not going to, so why even try? And that's just what happens. And but there's so much. Okay, there's two sides to it. There is so much misinformation that could literally potentially be fatal, especially to an early stage business that goes just down the wrong path, all in on the wrong side. And the flip side is there's so much good information, and some of it could be the stuff that actually takes you that next step and accelerates your business. And there's no one step that'll win. I will tell you, there's no one step that'll ever win for you. The best case scenario is I've gone from here to here. I've got that one step forward, and I figured a little more out, and I've got some good results from it. The problem is, how do you determine at the time whether it's good information that may move you forward or not? And the only thing I'll say is the loudest and the most confident is probably the most wrong in my experience. That's the one sort of flag, the red flag that comes up all the time for me.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is, you described going from here to here, right? Just your little circles. And I almost think that competence, because of that, is invisible. Other people can't see it. You've learned, you've gained, you've taken a step. But when you're professional, when you're really good at something, your competence really isn't seen by others because you make it look either easy or boring.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Right. And then when they try it, they go, oh shit, I think he knows something.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right, because the kind of going back to the metaphor of, if you want to learn something sort of new on guitar, and it's like, oh, so easy, you just do this. And then there's the one that may come out and say, yeah, do this, doon, 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 every day for 3 hours for a year. You're kind of like, okay, right? Like, okay, it's what it tells you is how hard and how painful it is to try and get to that point, right?
I picked up a guitar 25 times or more trying to do that. And I'm gonna tell you, and I've watched videos and trying to learn. I haven't taken any formal lessons. That's probably on me. That's on me. But it's a time commitment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's hard. Yeah, yeah.
So I found out during that process, trying to learn just even a song. I'm like going, I'd be happy if I could play one song really good. I've learned that the internet doesn't just create unrealistic expectations of what I can do. It gives me unrealistic confidence that I can do it. Right.
It looks easy.
It looks easy. If he can do it, I can do it. No.
I was on a somewhat related topic. I was over, we were out with friends at a sort of a new friend's place last weekend. And he's got a piano and a bunch of guitars and stuff. And we started kind of jamming there. Right. And the problem with my guitar playing is I played a lot when I was younger, and I've forgotten so much more than I'll ever know. And so we were trying to find some songs that we could play that a little bit of a different generation, and that we would be able to play the same song kind of thing. Right. And I went back and I started playing a song, and this is just the how hard some of this stuff is. Songs that I used to know inside out, backwards, forwards, all the way through when I was younger. I could start, I would get about 3 or 4 chords in, and I would, and then all of a sudden be like, uh-oh, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I would fight to find a chord. I'm like, I guess we're not doing that one because I can't find it. And then, a little later in the evening, also I'm like, oh shit, I got it. I got one chord, and then it would take me another 30 seconds into the song before I would get stuck again. And it was amazing how, as a the stuff, and your brain, it's in there somewhere, but it takes time. It's like if you took years off of throwing bags, and it's like, and at some point you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, it's coming back. It's coming back. The muscle memory's there, but it isn't instant. When people say it's like riding a bike, it's not like you hop on and you're awesome. It's like you hop on and you kind of remember some of it, but to get good again and ride it down like a sheer cliff, you're not gonna be able to necessarily do that right away.
That happened to me, right? I mean, we didn't play bags in a month or two. I got beat 21-1 in one game. And then it clicked.
I will tell you, one of the most satisfying things that I thought was really fun to watch, and I should not take joy in this, but I was at Goldwater Brewing probably last March. Last March or the March before, I don't remember what. But the reason March is important because it is during spring training.
Oh, yeah.
Half the MLB teams are in Scottsdale, and in the Phoenix area. They're all playing, and a bunch of these the players, and I don't know who they are. They're probably the newbies trying to make the team. They're all young guys that ended up at Goldwater Brewing, but you could tell there was one of the coaches was there, and then some players, and you can tell because they were highly athletic, and you knew they were talking. You're like, oh, they're trying to make the team, right? And then they went to play bags, like cornhole. For those of you that don't know what, I'm just learning this. I'm a Canadian. I don't know what the hell it is. And so you're watching these highly athletic young guys that are just ripped and cut because they're still trying to make the team. And they are so natural as athletes and kind of suck at bags. And it was kind of fun to watch, actually, because they were not very good. It just seemed like, okay, it's
then if you watch ESPN, there'll be just guys shaped like me. They're just nailing it.
Yeah, just having a beer to get a little bit loose and off they go.
Yeah, that's what I said. I call it swing juice. Works for golf, works for bags, bowling,
what it
doesn't
takes.
Matter. Yeah, works for all those.
There's a point where you get loose enough, and you're not tight and overthinking it, and then you get to that one step too far and it all falls apart. It's just such a fine line, right?
Well, you know what's funny is what you said about that is like mastery, you know, to me has a really strange side effect, right? The better somebody becomes at it, the more people think they can do it.
Yep.
Like you see somebody, oh, he makes it look so easy. And it's not, just like baseball to cornhole.
But it's not, but there's also, a friend of mine I was talking about the other day said something about that, like just the musicians, like the kids on YouTube, like how good they are at such a young age. Maybe it was you that was even talking about it. I don't recall, but the interesting part is I kind of think, did they get that good that quick because they had access to information, because they had access to examples? Because like, I remember when I was growing up and I was learning guitar, and I would just go buy, there's nowhere else to get them. You would go into 7-Eleven and buy a guitar magazine, and they had the tab in there. And then I took a few lessons, but it was just not what they didn't want to play what I wanted to play. And I'm kind of a bullheaded idiot. And so I just like, oh, I'll figure it out myself. And so I learned from these magazines. And I remember when we were young and we were just starting to skateboard, and we would see that there was nothing except for the odd person. Suddenly someone would get hold of a VHS tape of like the Bones Brigade in California. And you'd watch them skate, but there's no instruction. You just see Tony Hawk doing something. And we would try and emulate it. And of course, we would emulate the simplest stuff that they would do. We would completely be unable to do. And we'd finally be able to do the world's lamest trick. But now there is so much information, but there's also these how-tos that people make it look easy, but we never even had access to that. We never even had access to someone going, this is how you do it. This is how you pull back the curtain to do it. Right.
Yeah. Cause we just had the finished product. I had the same thing with BMX bikes and skateboards when I was a kid. You would sit, and sometimes I didn't even have the video of it. Right. I had like the skateboard magazine, BMX magazine. Remember?
All we had was magazines. And if someone had a VHS that was all grainy of watching Tony Hawk, it was like, oh my God, it's like in motion, because all we had were the skater magazines, which didn't show you anything or tell you anything, right?
No, but you would see that he was like 8 foot above, what is that thing called? The berms, the things that go like this. But he's doing like this with his
spinning it and stuff.
Yeah, spinning all that. You're like, okay, well, maybe I can do that. No, you can do that after about 7 stitches.
Yeah. Like you watch like I still remember like you'd watch like a Bones Brigade, use a Lance Mountain or something to drop into a half pipe and be zipping back and forth. And we had built we had a quarter pipe, and friends of ours had a half pipe, and it probably took 2 weeks to drop in without landing on our face.
Oh yeah.
That was like epic. It's like the first guy that was standing there with the tail of the skateboard on the edge, looking down and going, all right, here we go. And dropping in and not totally wiping out. And the first time you do it, it's like, oh my God, that feels so amazing. All I did was boop and ride down without wiping out. And it was like that, and then eventually you could ride it and you'd go up and you'd, like hook your wheels on and then back down. And that's like, I think that was the best trick that any of us ever made. There was no handstands and shit like that. Like we never got close to that stuff. We tried, but you never even got even remotely close to that stuff, right? It just
you're probably the reason why kids have to wear helmets now.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, like how did you survive? How did I survive without helmet? I think I got my first. I never did wear a helmet skateboarding until I was in probably a few years ago. Biking, I didn't wear a helmet until we were mountain biking places that we probably shouldn't really be mountain biking, but I was in university. Like the first 19 years of my life, 20 years of my life, no helmet. And yet, like you, BMX, making jumps out of plywood and some bricks.
Yep.
Or finding a mound of dirt and, smashing into everything. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, right?
I've got pictures somewhere around the house here of I guess a quarter pike. What is that? Quarter pipe?
Pipe, yeah.
That we built in the backyard. So imagine 14-year-olds building a quarter pipe with right. It looks like 14-year-olds build a quarter pipe. It worked though. It didn't fall apart. It did whatever, but I never got good at it. I got good enough to go kind of up halfway, spin and come back down. Yeah. I got good enough to do that.
We could drop in, and friends of ours with a half pipe, we could get up and you like I said, you maybe catch your wheels and then kind of go back down. If you could do that, you're a superstar. And it sounds silly, but
yeah, I think we made ours too tall because nobody could get to the top going up it.
Yeah, a quarter pipe was hard to get up. Well, I don't think I could drop in, but we never get all the way to the top. A half pipe, you would have enough momentum and speed, you could get to the top. We just there was I don't remember who they were anymore, but there were some kids that we knew that their dad made them a half pipe in the backyard, and it was like, oh, this thing's amazing, right? So that was always a special day when we got to ride the half pipe. And but there nobody was ever in my group. Nobody was ever good enough to learn much from. You'd get a little bit of a step forward, but nobody was like some like phenom or anything. Yeah. I went to a skateboard competition in Arizona this year in Fountain Hills, and I don't even know where I saw it. I saw it online somewhere. Skateboard competition. And it was all locals, and then they had a group of pros that could also skate. I can't remember what they called them, but it was basically the pro group. And the pros were like, of course, incredibly good. But what was amazing was how good the non-pros were. And I'm talking kids down to like 8-10 years old. And we're really quite accomplished. And I think it's a combination of, you have access to information online, but I think sometimes it's the person that there's some people in the group that are the ringleaders and have set the example and learned the fastest, but they're learning much faster than before because they have access to all this information, and then they're passing that down. So it's not just like the phenoms get better. I think it brings the water level up for everybody because you have these leaders that are really, really good at what they're doing, right? And
you want to be like them, so you're trying to watch and master and practice, right?
Yeah, and they're willing to show you stuff that they've learned, but they've probably learned it because they're so advanced. They're on YouTube trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah. So is there a job out there that you wouldn't last one day at right now?
There is every job working for someone else that I wouldn't last one day at. I don't think I would be a very good employee anymore. I haven't had an employer in, I don't know, probably 25 years or more. So I would suspect I would probably not be a very good employee just about anywhere at this point.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that, right? Because you're like, oh, I've got zero. They make it look easy at these jobs. I'll say Brother Trey, right? Brother Trey has, I don't know if it's 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. It's somewhere in that where he teaches a course, right? I mean, he teaches like careers and those type of things.
Yeah,
I would not last one day with that group. I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't last 30 seconds. I'm out. I could tell that I'm not the right person for that job.
He's masterful. We'll go to events or we'll go out to even eat or whatever. There's always some kid, because he deals with almost all of them in this area, right? Because I think it's almost a mandatory class they have to take. They go, hey, and all of them know him by name, come up, high five him, those type of things. Me, they'd probably not do that.
No, they'll know neighbor Pat. That's like that. We're building superstars here. Yeah,
that's funny. So, so I think and then have you watched any of the sports like the soccer? The basketball. I wouldn't last one day being NBA or Major League Soccer or FIFA soccer referee. I'm talking about the referees or the umpires and those type of things. Wouldn't last one day, because these guys are making split-second decisions, and how often they get it wrong. I'd probably get it wrong even twice as much.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like if not being a pro, like for all the hockey I watch, if I was actually on the ice trying to referee it, I'd be like, it would move so fast. There's no way.
Yeah, I would just miss it.
You miss everything. Yeah, it's on TV. Like I can half watch and I catch everything. On the ice, yeah, I am sure I would miss everything. Even sitting in the front row, because I've done it a few times, it's not the best place to sit. But the front row of an NHL game, the one thing you see is how fast everything moves. How fast is like, oh my God, like you being on the ice. They have to be pros with that 10,000 hour sort of work ethic or experience to be able to even attempt it. And then I'll still yell at them for doing stupid calls.
Well, you know what's funny is I ran 3-bar restaurants for 7 years or so. And I got to the point where we stopped bringing in new people, meaning that you had to have some experience, because everybody that's been in a restaurant that thinks they can do that job. I can be a server. I can wait on people. I'm good with people. They'll like me. Why is she so terrible? Because she's not doing X, Y, and Z. Well, dude, that's a hard job. I don't know. There's a lot of people can't last one day just being a restaurant server, taking an order and giving it back to the customer. I mean, believe it or not, that's a skill just like any other.
I have no illusions. I cannot be a server. I literally just see them walking with a tray with a bunch of stuff on and be like, yeah, no, it would all be on the floor. And I can't pick the big pile of plates up and it'd be on the floor. It's a common theme. But like I was at a friend's restaurant not too long ago, and there's a new staff member, and I told him a few days later, I'm like, but I could identify, like, you got a gem there, because a staff member, we were sitting on the patio, and there was a family walking up to the door, and there was elderly, probably the grandpa with a walker, and it was just barely moving. And this staff member came running out the door, ran around the side, opened the door for him. Brand new staff member. First time we'd ever met them. And so I had to tell my friend, I'm like, you got a gem there. Because not only were they great with us, inside the restaurant, they must have saw through the window, and as a brand new early shift, just out the door, doing the right thing and identifying, like, that's really, really well done. And so like, in some ways I can you can kind of see and go, well, that's special. That's really well done. But I'm sure I would be a complete loss at even the, like, let me take your order, slow down and let me write everything down, because there's zero chance I'll remember what you've just told me.
Yeah. So it's a good, can you believe we're almost an hour? That went fast. This was a good one. So here's what I think I learned off of this, right? The better somebody gets at something, the more they hide how difficult it really is.
Yeah.
Right.
Question the source.
Question
the source, question who they are, how many times they did it. And the more confident I find, and the more brazen the example and the advice, the more I'd probably question it. So it's, it's a challenge out there.
Well, very cool. This is another episode of Mike and Blaine, Business, Beer, and BS. And if you like this, if you like what we're doing, because it's a whole different twist on what we've done over the last 5-6 seasons now, I like it. I like the trending topics. I like talking about different things that people talk about and connecting it to business. I think that's what we're trying to do. So if you like it, tell your friends, like, subscribe, tell your friends to like and subscribe, and come back and join us again.
Yeah. And make sure you go to mikeandblaine.com and you can buy us a beer. $5 an episode is the most inexpensive, no inflation on that side. We will talk about you every episode that you buy a beer for. And also, you can even email us at beer@mikeandblaine.com.
Check out their website at mikeandblaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.